I can still remember the first time I realised something was wrong. It wasn't anything big, nothing earth-shattering. It was the little things. The subtle glances he would exchange with people at parties. The hushed phone calls he'd quickly end when I walked into the room. The way he started to disappear for business trips that lasted longer than they should. At first, I thought I was overthinking things. After all, our marriage had always been smooth. We'd been together for 10 years, and we had our share of ups and downs like any couple. But this felt different. It wasn't just his sudden secrecy. It was the way he became distant. The intimacy we shared slowly faded, replaced by polite conversations and empty smiles. I couldn't shake the feeling that he was hiding something. And not just from me, but from everyone. One evening I came home early from work, something I rarely did. As I stepped into the living room, I froze. There he was, sitting on the couch, phone in hand, texting someone. But his reaction when he saw me, panic, his face went pale. His hand quickly shoved the phone into his pocket, like I hadn't seen the sudden movement. "Hey," I said, trying to sound casual. "How was your day?" "Good," he replied a little too quickly. He stood up, brushing himself off. "Just work stuff." I watched him, my gut twisting. I didn't believe him, and yet I said nothing. Not yet. That night, after dinner, he went to the bathroom, leaving his phone on the counter. I stood there for a moment, hesitating. I knew I shouldn't. But the curiosity, the need to know, overwhelmed me. I grabbed his phone, unlocked it, and there it was. Messages, dozens of them. From different names. None of them were familiar to me. Some of the messages were innocent enough, work-related, friend banter. But others, they were intimate, personal, private. One message stood out. "I miss you. I can't wait to see you again. Our secret is safe." I felt my breath catch in my throat. Who was he talking to? Who was this person who had his attention in ways I no longer did? I felt sick, but at the same time I knew I had to confront him. I couldn't live in the dark anymore. The next day I sat at the kitchen table, my heart pounding as I waited for him to come home. When he walked through the door, I didn't waste a second. I stood up and looked him straight in the eye. "We need to talk," I said, my voice steady but firm. He raised an eyebrow. "About what?" "About your secret life," I said, holding up his phone. "About her." He froze. For the first time in a long while, I saw genuine fear in his eyes. His mouth opened, then closed, as if he couldn't figure out how to explain himself. "You've been lying to me, Daniel," I continued. "For months, maybe even longer. You've been hiding something, and I'm done pretending like I don't see it." He shook his head. "Lena, please, just let me explain." "No," I said, cutting him off. "You've been distant. You've been acting like you're someone else. And now I know why. You've been talking to other women behind my back. You've been texting them like it's nothing. And don't you dare tell me this is just work." I saw the guilt flash across his face, and for a moment he looked like he might confess everything. But instead he tried to defend himself. "It's not what you think." I laughed, though there was no humour in it. "Then tell me, Daniel. Tell me what I'm supposed to think when I see messages like that." He finally slumped into the chair, his hands shaking. "I never wanted to hurt you, Lena. I swear I didn't. It just happened. He told me about her. Her name was Samantha, a colleague from his new job. They'd become close, he said, and then one thing led to another. The texts, the dinners, the moments of comfort that he claimed had nothing to do with me. But I didn't believe him. Not anymore. I never meant to fall for her," he continued. It wasn't supposed to go this far. But I couldn't stop myself. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. My stomach twisted as I realized how little I actually knew about the man I'd married. "You've been lying to me for months, Daniel," I said, my voice breaking. "You've been deceiving me, and I don't know how I'm supposed to come back from that." For the next few days, everything was quiet. There were no big fights, no screaming matches. He apologized, of course, over and over, but I couldn't get past the hurt. I couldn't stop seeing the texts, the lies. The betrayal, and that's when it hit me. I couldn't keep pretending like this was my fault. I couldn't keep convincing myself that I wasn't enough, that his actions were my responsibility to fix. The days turned into weeks, and I knew one thing for certain. I had to make a choice. I could stay. I could forgive him, even if it would mean living with the scars of his betrayal forever. Or I could leave, and so one afternoon I packed my things. I didn't tell him at first. I just left the house, the place where we had built our life together. My heart ached as I locked the door behind me, knowing I would never return. It's funny how something as simple as packing a suitcase can feel like the hardest thing in the world. But as I drove away from our home, I felt something I hadn't in months, a sense of freedom. I found a small apartment and started over. It wasn't perfect, but it was mine. Slowly I rebuilt my life. I rediscovered who I was without him, without the man I thought I would grow old with. Months passed. He tried calling, texting, even showing up at my new apartment. But I wasn't ready to listen. Not yet. Not until I had healed. A year went by. It wasn't easy, but it was mine. I made new friends, picked up old hobbies, and found a rhythm in my life that didn't involve him. Then, one evening, I got a text. "Lena, I need to talk. Can we meet?" It was from Daniel. I didn't know what to expect, but a part of me knew I needed to hear him out. We met at the same cafe where everything started. When I walked in, I saw him sitting at the same table we'd once shared, looking lost, tired, and regretful. He stood up when he saw me and greeted me quietly. "I know I don't deserve your time, but I've thought a lot about what happened," he said. I nodded. I didn't say anything. I just listened. He apologized again like he had countless times before. But this time his apology was different. There was no excuse, no justification. Just raw, vulnerable regret. "I never wanted to hurt you, Lena," he said. "But I understand if you can't forgive me. I've lost you, and I don't know how to fix that." The pain I had carried for so long stirred in my chest, but I realized something in that moment. I had forgiven him. Not for him. Not because he deserved it. But because I needed to. For me. "I'm sorry too," I said, my voice steady. "I'm sorry for letting myself believe that I wasn't enough. That somehow I was the problem." He looked at me, tears in his eyes. "You were always enough, Lena. I was the one who failed you." And just like that, I let go of the last of the pain. I realized that healing doesn't come from getting what you want from others. It comes from letting go of what they've already taken.